Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
Live from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's favorite gun-toting, Bible-clinging, deplorable American.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Welcome, everybody. I just want to prepare you for something. This is going to be a weird edition of the Todd Starnes radio program. So I don't want to be getting any calls. People saying, what Starnes been putting in the Dr. Pepper? No, I am incredibly sober, ladies and gentlemen. But after what happened last night on Newsmax, you really wonder what in the world is going on here. And we're going to get to the president's speech a little bit later on. I don't think the president, well, let me just say this. I'll tease what I'm going to tell you about the president. I don't think that was the original speech he was supposed to deliver last night. I think because really, I'm not sure why he said what he said and the way he did. I have a couple of theories about that, and we'll share that a little bit later. Also, Congressman Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, announced that he would not be eating the crab sandwich that Majority Leader Thune sent to the House, talking about the DH funding bill. Well, now we understand that the House of Representatives has a hankering for a crab sandwich, and they've decided to wave the white flag, and we'll get into all of that as well. But I'm going to start today with this this crazy story that unfolded last night on Newsmax. Now, we have to set this up real quick here. So a few days ago, ex-Congressman Matt Gaetz from Florida was doing an interview, and he alleged that there was some sort of a human-alien breeding program going down. I want you to take a listen.
Okay, so there's classified stuff that you've seen that you can't talk about. What if that was declassified? Trump says he's going to declassify it. What if that was declassified? What would happen with the American public?
I don't think I've seen probably some of the most interesting stuff to declassify. Again, I think that if the things I've seen were declassified, the public's questions would be around how this technology exists that can do some of these things. And if we don't have it, and if we don't believe anyone else on Earth has it, where do we think it came from? I think those would be the questions.
So it's like space age technology that would break our brains.
It would not be anything that exists on Earth.
And you've seen that in classified settings.
I've seen things in classified settings that are not explainable with the technology we know is available. And I'm pretty well versed in that. I was on the Armed Services Committee for 8 years. I sat on the Emerging Threats Subcommittee that oversaw everything going on in cyberspace, had access to DARPA and the projects they were working on, had special compartmentalized clearance that is above the clearance of just a regular congressional briefing.
Wow.
And so I even got to see things that other members of Congress didn't get to see that weren't on the Armed Services Committee.
All right. He goes on to talk about there was a very secret program where aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones and even the caravans of illegals. So let me just pause right here for a moment. maybe we need to be sharing that information with these wannabe illegals coming across our border. You do that, you come into America illegally, you could get knocked up by ET. I mean, that might keep people from crossing the border. Unbelievable. So Congressman Tim Burchett last night on Newsmax was asked about all of this. And here's what the congressman told a very stunned Rob Finnerty.
I don't have the tinfoil hat on just yet, Congressman, but I'm wondering, kind of how you react to that, because you are connected. You're on the UFO subcommittee. I mean, I'm just wondering what you make of that. Have you heard anything like that?
Well, I'm still a member of Congress, so I can't really comment too much on what Matt said. But I will say this.
So wait, seriously? Are you being serious, or is that tongue in cheek?
I'm being 100% serious. Okay. I've been 100% serious. I've been briefed by just about every alphabet agency there is. And I'll just tell you this. If they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up. You'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff. We just need to disclose it all. I'm sick of it. Well, I was briefed. I'll just tell you this. I was briefed last week on an issue, or excuse me, 2 weeks ago. And it would have set the earth on. This country would have come unglued, I think, if they would have heard all that I heard. They would demand answers. And we need to. But, it's never going to get, unfortunately, it just keeps getting covered up. And the people that know are dying or disappearing, as the case may be.
Wow.
And for the record, I'm not suicidal and I don't take risks. So,
I'm glad you said that. I'm speechless, Congressman.
Well,
we will have you back.
You should be. And I told the president, release it all. And the problem is the people that are around the president don't know and the president doesn't know the questions to ask. A few of us are going to have to get with the president and tell him what he needs to ask and where he needs to look. I mean, we're in meetings and they give addresses and tell locations of items, I'll just say. And the public has a right to know, dadgummit. It's your tax dollars.
Absolutely.
Let's get it out there.
You got my attention, Congressman. I appreciate you being as forthcoming as you have been tonight. And we look forward to having you back. Look, I know Donald Trump wants to disclose something. He hasn't done it yet, but I think he wants to be the president to do that.
Okay, where's Dylan? Are you under the desk right now? It's okay. It's daylight. The aliens normally do their work at night. You're safe.
I think I need to call my mom or something.
Wow.
This is scary.
You're watching this last night on Newsmax, and you're like, holy crap. I heard poor Helen was just like laying in bed. She could not go to sleep last night.
Well, the problem is it's coming from Congressman Burchett, who I actually believe everything he says. So this is quite terrifying.
I want to bring into the conversation, I didn't realize our good friend Andy Hoosier happens to be a UFO expert, and he is on the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line. Andy, we were literally having our staff meeting, and Dylan says, who's really into this is Andy Hoosier from Kansas, and I had no idea.
Yeah, full disclosure, I've had the tinfoil hat on that issue for a very long time. I am part of groups, Todd, that like to study that like to understand them. And look, the breeding program that Matt Gaetz tried to leak is something to where, there's organizations, there's people that, and I say this allegedly for people that can believe whatever they want to, that channel, that communicate with ETs in some fashion, that meditate and talk to them or whatever, or say they've been abducted. They said that there's been breeding programs going on for decades that they've talked about for a long time. So you know what, for me, Todd, I'm excited because this has been disclosure that we have been waiting for such a long time. And it's finally starting to come out. And God bless Tim Burchett and Anna Paulina Luna and Nancy Mace and Matt Gaetz for these guys getting this information out here, because it's something that a lot of people have been wanting to know. And we've already kind of known that it's been there. We've just been waiting for them to finally come out and admit it. So this is an exciting time, Todd.
Well, I'm not sure if it's exciting or somewhat terrifying. I don't think I could handle doing the hard labor in an alien, mining camp or something of that nature. I'm not sure I can do that, Andy Hoosier. But it just seems to me it's just all very strange. And, part of me wants to think they're yanking our chain here. But, Tim Burchett, to Dylan's point, when Tim Burchett says something, this guy's a straight shooter. So I'm wondering if we should really, really be paying attention to what this guy is trying to tell us.
I really think so. I really think we should be paying attention. And look, there's different facets to this, and I've said this quite a bit, is that as this information comes out, we have to put it into context, because there are some that want to create a lot of fear about it. And look, we can go down the spiritual realm in the thought on this, on angels and demons. We can talk about what this really is. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that are going to use this for personal gain, for an idea to try and weaponize the systems. Look, we have these private military contractors that are back engineering this technology, these UFOs or whatever we may have, that's finally starting to come out, to the point to where Congress doesn't even know a lot of this information, which is why they've been so frustrated to actually get it. So I think they're right that if anybody is going to disclose this, it's going to be Donald Trump, with the ego that he has, and in a good way here, that if this is going to be his legacy of the guy that discloses the extraterrestrial life and technology that we have no idea about, it would be Donald Trump, someone who's not beholden to these people, someone who's not part of that quote-unquote deep state, and a Congress that's finally willing to go out there and say, get the information out. I think we're on the brink of a lot of information being dumped, and then we have to figure out how to process it all.
We did an interview, a pre-taped interview. We're going to play it later on today in the show with Dr. Paul Chappell, who's one of the great theologians of our time. And we asked him about, what the Bible has to say about all of that. And we're going to save that part of the discussion for later in the show. But, again, when you look at just in recent days with the orbs, the increasing number of so-called, asteroids that are, these meteorites that are coming in, to the atmosphere. And a lot of people, this is a big topic of conversation, at diners and places all across America, Andy.
Yeah. Oh, it's a big one. It's been underground for a long time, and of course, with the media, with how the Hollywood's been portrayed, it's obviously now we've seen actually from the CIA and from the government that a lot of that was done intentionally to stigmatize this issue for the tinfoil hat wearing, crazy conspiracy theorists, the people that may be on, the wild lettuce kind of thing. That's kind of the stigma that we've had for this for a while, and now it's becoming mainstream, and people are trying to figure out how to discuss it. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited for us to understand that there is so much more out there that we're not aware of, and the games that are being played behind the scenes. So yeah, this information is going to come out, and we have to put it into perspective. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts with the chaplain later on the religious aspect to this, because when I've read the Bible, if you substitute the idea of angel to ET and kind of describe those, it makes a lot of sense that we've had a lot of these encounters for a very long time, and we've just tried to figure out how to describe them and how to actually put it into perspective. When I read the book of Ezekiel and he talks about a chariot of fire descending from heaven with God, it sounds like a UFO with a bunch of lights on it. It's an interesting perspective to take a look at these things.
It's fascinating. I'm siding with, these are, angelic beings or demonic beings. I think that I do believe in spiritual warfare, in America. Yeah. At the same time, I've seen Independence Day. I know what they did to Randy Quaid. And
well, we have to be prepared for that.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to get probed by an alien.
If they wanted to do that, I think they could have done that for a long time. I had a guest on my show. His name's Chris Bledsoe. He's one of the most researched abductees ever by the government, by institutions, by universities, and he still gets visions by whatever abducted him. And Todd, this is falling right in line, because he predicted 15 years ago from a vision that he got from whatever these things are, that we would get involved with a conflict in Iran in 2026 under Donald Trump, and that we would have major disclosure before Easter. And he did that and told the government about it 15 years ago.
Are you serious? Are you yanking my chain here, Andy Hoosier?
I am dead serious. He was on my program just a month ago talking about it.
Dylan, I don't know what to think about all of this. You got some poor guy living down in Alabama in a trailer park. He's minding his own business, watching wrestling. The next thing you know, a great beam of light. He gets shot up into the air, and you got some giant reptile sticking something up the poor guy's wazoo. Come on, man.
There's a lot of crazy stuff going on, and you're right. There's a spiritual warfare going on, the good and the bad, and I think it's all about time where it's going to be coming to fruition for us.
All right, this is I'm just fascinated by this because I mean, everybody knows about Art Bell and, and you sort of laugh off all of this stuff, but you're telling me this is a very serious topic of conversation, not just here in America, but around the world.
It's a very serious conversation, not just about the ET side, but what kind of technology are we back engineering that we're not aware of? They say the government is 300 to 400 years more advanced in technology than what the average consumer in America actually has. Where did they get that information? Where do they get that technology? And why aren't they disclosing it to the American people? Because it could really upset the entire system as we know it.
Yeah, fascinating. All right, Andy Hoosier, thank you for informing us. I don't know whether to be put at ease or even more horrified now.
It's all up to us. Todd, I love it. I appreciate it. It's a fun conversation for sure, and I can't wait to see what comes next.
Andy Hoosier, the host of the great, and by the way, the head honcho over at our great affiliate, The Big Talker in Wichita, Kansas, KQAM. Andy, always good talking to you, my friend.
Always a pleasure, brother.
Dylan?
I can't understand. My mind can't comprehend what this conversation means.
I don't either. The only thing that concerns me now is that you do have members of Congress and people we trust. I trust Tim Burchett. I trust Anna Paulina Luna, Matt Gaetz. I don't know. But I will say that it does make you wonder, what the heck does the government know? And I'm with the congressman. You know what? We're all grown-ups. Let's just release all the information, put a stop to all this nonsense. So, Americans like poor Helen over here can get a good night's rest. That's all I'm saying. All right, you've heard the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. You heard what Congressman Burchett had to say. What say you? 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Stern Show.
Hear what's happening from Todd along with the biggest newsmakers first on the Todd Stern Show.
From fruits and veggies to fiber and spice, Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Well, I stopped taking it for a while, and then it dawned on me, so I started taking it again. And I don't know, I like it. I mean, I love them. I'm never going to stop taking them. And I've got a friend that's coming over here. I'm giving her a little bit for her to go try.
I love the product. I wouldn't be without it. Ever since I started that product, I remember seeing an ad way back. That's what convinced me. I tried it, and I've been a believer. Nothing compares with it, so I'm a lifer with it. I'm not going to change.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Todd Stern's here with a question for you. Are you struggling with losing weight, trying to eat better, trying to move more, and your body just isn't responding? Like, I don't know, something's off, but you can't quite figure out what it is. Look, I hear that all the time. And here's what I've learned. Most people are not failing. They're just missing a key piece, not another diet, not another extreme plan. For me, that missing piece was Calitrin, focusing on what happens while I sleep, the repairing, the reset, and the kickstart for weight loss. And when I added Calitrin at night, well, that's when things clicked.
Yes, Todd, exactly. That was my experience too. Once I added Calitrin at bedtime, it helped me burn through those fats and sugars instead of just holding on to them. Like you said, it wasn't just about the weight loss. Yes, I've lost over 40 pounds, but it's about the confidence, the energy. That's what feels so good.
And Elizabeth, right now with the Easter sale, Calitrin breaks down to about $1 a day. That's less than what we spend on, say, a coffee or a Dr. Pepper. So kickstart that weight loss and go to toploss.com or call 833-TOP-LOSS, code Todd.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. you might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head. But you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Todd Stearns radio show. And look, for me as a person of faith, when it comes to all of this this alien stuff, it's always been puzzling for me. I believe that God created everything. So even if there are aliens, those are things that God created, and this was somehow part of his plan, something that I do not understand. But again, I think that most of the theologians are going to say, okay, these are really demonic spirits or beings. But when it gets elevated, when you have members of Congress like Tim Burchett, like Anna Paulina Luna, and others weighing in on the conversation, and especially in in the past year or so, we have just seen all of these videos of these strange orbs and other things, and it very well may be that these are military, these are experimental military technology that we're looking at. Who knows? Who knows? But there are now some people that are weighing in saying this is all part of some sort of a big conspiracy, and there's going to be an effort to, and hear me on this, this may be a stretch, but the argument is that the existence of alien beings would be used by the globalists to create some sort of a one-world government where it would be Earth versus the aliens, is what they're saying. I just find it all fascinating conversation. I don't know about you, but I'd kind of like to know what Congressman Burchett has seen and what he has heard. By the way, the congressman has been very concerned because there have been reports of a number of scientists and experts in the field of these unidentified objects that have either been killed or have gone missing. And the congressman says this is a troubling pattern. That's why he mentioned that he's not suicidal. But most recently, retired Air Force Major General William McCaslin, who had extensive knowledge of particle beam technology and UFO research, and he's gone, disappeared. Nobody knows where this guy is. Anyway, curious to hear your thoughts on this. 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Stearns Show. We are living in dangerous and unstable times. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Stearns. Pandemics, international insecurity, shortages, supply chain disruptions, and an economy on the brink. We know we can't simply trust the government to protect us. Now more than ever, everyone needs to be prepared. And being prepared is more than just stockpiling ammo, food, and supplies. Being prepared should also include stockpiling critical prescription medications. And that's where my friends at the Wellness Company come in. Their medical emergency kit contains the prescriptions, antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics that you need to keep you and your family safe, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID, and even to a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Go to twc.health/Starnes today and order. That's twc.health/Starnes. Use the promo code STARNES, and you're going to save an extra 10%.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear. Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do. Don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go! Almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right, welcome back to the Todd Stearns Radio Show. Happy to have you with us today. By the way, excited to welcome the former governor of Virginia. George Allen is going to drop by, and he is leading a statewide campaign to stop the Democrats from getting rid of all these Republican congressional districts. So looking forward to having the former governor George Allen joining us in just a little while. Our telephone number, by the way, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. So the Squawking Magpies over at The View, they are now alleging that all of you Trump supporters are just ignorant people who don't understand how life operates. This is the conversation we heard just a few moments ago on The View.
Also, there's like magical thinking that all of a sudden the gas prices, which are $10 in California in some parts, a gallon, and the stock market is in the toilet. He thinks this is magically going to come back. Does he really think we're that stupid?
Yes.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah, but I'm not one of the poorly educated, okay? Those are the ones he thinks he can get to, and those people are the ones who are going to turn on him.
Well, the crazy thing is, even the poorly educated recognize when they're being grifted.
Yeah.
Poorly, just because you don't have book learning doesn't mean you're not
correct.
smart enough to know when somebody's bamboozling you.
Yeah. Well, they're
feeling it now.
They're feeling it themselves at the pump.
They're feeling it now. His approval rating is down 30 to 35%, which is at an all-time low. And I didn't gain any
What is it,
clarity. 35%. Yeah. And, numbers matter to him.
All right. So is that true, ladies and gentlemen? Are you just simply ignoring reality? Your devotion to Trump is so great that you ignore the reality of the situation? Look, here's the deal. We ran some numbers here, and there's no doubt about it. Gas prices are high. They're as high as they were back in 2022 when Joe Biden was president. Still lower than when Biden was actually in office. But there's no doubt about it, and the president told us that the war in Iran, Operation Epic Fury, was going to lead to higher prices at the pump, and that is true. I am curious to know what you guys are paying in your towns or communities for a gallon of gasoline. Here in the Memphis area, I think it's $3.55, $3.60 a gallon now. In California, in the most extreme places in California, it's $10 a gallon. Most places, a gallon of gas is going to cost you $6 in Los Angeles County, for example. Now, there's another factor in all of this, and the White House isn't talking about it, but we need to talk about it, because this will start to impact prices again at the grocery store. The price of diesel is skyrocketing. As a matter of fact, there was one driver talking to Channel 7 in Los Angeles, said that he usually pays $5,000 a month for diesel. This month, he's paid over $9,000 a month. So as the price of diesel goes up, every single thing that you buy at the supermarket, everything you buy at Target or Walmart, all of those prices are going to go up as well. Now, the question is, how quickly will these prices drop once the war concludes? And the president last night talked a little. It was an odd speech. I don't think that if you're following this every single day, you're sitting back and thinking, I didn't get any new information out of this address last night. And that's true. You did not. However, I don't believe that address was for the talk radio audience. I mean, you guys, you're plugged in every single day to what's going on. We've been following the war. We've been passing along the developments. And as the president said yesterday, we're bombing these people back to the Stone Age. And that's a good thing. But I think last night was for all of the guys that are watching March Madness, all of the gals, the soccer moms, maybe you're at the ballet or PTA, and the majority of Americans, an overwhelming majority of Americans, are not listening to or clued in or plugged into the political scene. So the first information they're ever getting about what's going on came from the president last night. And I think that's one of the reasons why that this was a lot of regurgitated info that is shared pretty much daily on talk radio and on some of the cable news channels. So that's what I think is ultimately what last night was all about. It was basically a war primer for the rest of the nation. Here's why we went in. This is what we are doing. And here's when we're going to, and well, he didn't say here's when we're going to get out. Because, again, why would the president do that? The president and the president made very clear that the bombing is only going to become more severe. So he wants the Iranians to understand that if you think it's bad now, it is going to get worse until there is a full and complete surrender. We don't know what the end game is for the president. We don't. President and the White House hasn't really conveyed that to us. So we don't know, is this about getting the oil fields? Is this about regime change? What is it just about ending the nuclear program? What is this all about? We don't know. We've been told a lot of different things, but we don't know. And quite frankly, I'm okay with that right now. We want this war to end, and the best way to do that is for the military to go in there and bomb them back to the Stone Age, as the president rightly said. 901-260-5926 is our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. So I think the American people are still on board with the president and the war, and I'm curious to hear from you about that. If you believe that, did the president make his case to the American people last night? You know, all the tens of millions of Americans who are not watching cable news, they're not listening to a talk radio show. Do you believe that he made the case for those people last night? Meanwhile, the Democrats completely in a free fall. As a matter of fact, CNN doing some research, and it turns out even Democrats do not like Democrats. Take a listen to Cut 7.
These numbers are just atrociously awful. A double A for the Democrats here. I mean, just take a look here. Congressional Dems have the right priorities. Look at this. Overall, 74%. Nearly 3 in 4 say no. Just 25% overall say yes. You might say, okay, well, at least Dems like Democrats. Not the case. Look at this. The majority of Democrats are independents who lean Democrats. Look at this. 55% say no, congressional Democrats do not have the right priorities. And then you just see a minority, 45% of Democrats say that congressional Democrats have the right priorities. This, to me, just jumps out at the screen because it screams primary challenges all over the map.
So there you have CNN, and their numbers are showing even the Democrats hate the Democrats. And to illustrate that point, I want you to hear what Rahm Emanuel has to say. Now, Rahm Emanuel, former chief of staff for Barack Hussein Obama, he was Clinton's political director, Hillary Clinton's political director, and Rahm Emanuel sitting down doing a podcast, and he just lays it out. This guy is a rock solid, salt of the earth Democrat. Take a listen.
We lost the plot. We as Democrats nationally, from Latinx to defunding the police to police organizations are all racist to bringing a set of cultural wars to our schools. We are on the losing side of those cultural wars. Full stop. You are worried about bathroom access and locker room access. Why don't you focus on classroom excellence? You have 50% of our kids not reading at grade level.
Well, they can just say we can do both.
You've proven you can't, because you've permitted a 30-year low in reading and math scores, and nobody seems to be calling the whistle on this. We've lost the plot.
Why?
Because the party got unanchored. Every one of our most successful electoral presidents anchored themselves in what I call middle-class values and values that are universal, at least in this country, ascribed to. We went from acceptance to advocacy. Big difference. And I'll just take one on that I shouldn't. So here goes. I remember fighting for Title IX. The reason we are champions in women's sports in the Olympics and soccer, hockey, etc., is Title IX. Why would you undercut the premise of Title IX with the ability of trans men playing in women's sports? To me, it's insane.
It's baffling.
You're undermining one of the great accomplishments we as a country, but also spearheaded by the Democratic Party, Title IX. And we're undercutting it.
Do you understand what we just heard here? You had Rahm Emanuel, a Democrat, delivering a better defense of Republican policies than Republicans have. And I'm telling you right now, this is, and by the way, Rahm Emanuel is now an outlier of his own party. What he just said, I don't think the majority of Democrats actually agree with anymore. But there may be enough, I think independents certainly do. And I would say there are a lot of people on the Republican side of the aisle who believe that. And I'm just wondering if we could start seeing the birth of multiple parties here coming out of what the Democrats are doing and what the Republicans are not doing. It's a fascinating conversation. We're going to try to get Rahm Emanuel on the show for a longer form interview because clearly there's tons of stuff that I disagree with this guy about. But everything he just said, I agree with that 1,000%. And I bet many of you do as well. 901-260-5926, our number. Let's go to North Carolina. Dave, listening to us on the talk station. Hi, Dave. What's on your mind?
Hey, Todd. I was telling your call screener, a lot of the way this is being done is just we're spending a lot of money, and it's Trumpy. It's a lot of big show, and the way a lot of the situation could be done could be handled differently with a lot less expense.
What situation are you talking about, Dave?
Well, Iran right now.
Okay.
And one of the examples I gave her is like taking out the small boats off Venezuela. You don't need a bomb. You don't need a $20,000 ordinance to take out a boat. And when they shot down the Chinese balloon, had to use a missile to do that. A quick burst from an A-10 would have deflated the balloon, let it come down slowly. We could have captured it. Nope. And I realized that was before that was different in this. But, we're spending tremendous amounts of money every day on this, and it's all about the big show, and
we're spending money on what specifically? What are we spending money on that you've got a problem with?
Well, the way the Iranian situation is being handled, and to say that there's not going to be boots on the ground now, all of a sudden, we may have. You cannot end anything. You can't wrap anything up without eyeballs there because you don't know what's behind something. We don't know what at the last minute Russia's going to fly in and give Iran when politically they're going to say, well, this thing's over. And the next day, plane loads of new drones are taken in. And, they're not prepared for that. This whole thing is being handled like kids playing war. And first of all, you've got to get people in there where you see. And I don't know, I'm sure I know for a fact that there's people on the ground. They're getting intel, and most of it is Israeli. I get that. And I know that we've got people in there.
So do you think we should have gotten involved in the war in the first place?
Yes and no. Taking the first strike with the B-2 run was good, and I don't know what their battle damage assessment was after that led them to think other things, but I think that they got ground intel saying there's a lot more to this than what we knew, which precipitated what's going on now. So, but I think that, it's a Donald Trump thing where instead of handling it differently, it's all got to be a big show.
Well, how would it be? How would you handle it differently? Well, I mean, what did he do that you you disagree with?
Well, one is the information to the people, and he's got to quit rambling on and on and on when he talks. He should have like bullet format outlines and say, this is our goal. This is what we're doing. This is where we come out for 2 minutes once a week and say, this is where we, this is the plan. This is where we are. You know, that was the big thing with FDR during World War II is he'd come out on the radio all the time. This is where, you know, you've got to keep people updated. And you know what? You can't hide anything. If you've got American troops involved in something, now you don't disclose, like when the SEALs went ashore and CNN was waiting for them, you know, that was horrible. So you don't give up classified information.
So no. I hear what you're saying. No, I think we got the gist of it. And I'm going to have to scoot to a break here. But again, let me just say this. And I think your main argument is that we're spending a lot of money and we're using a lot of the ammo supplies. I will say this. One of the big challenges we've got is we're facing a serious ammunition supply problem, a stockpile shortage. And the reason why is we gave most of our artillery to Ukraine and our allies. So we got to stop doing that. But as far as President Trump, and I think the messaging and the communications part of it, look, you've got the War Secretary and General Kane coming out at least once or twice a week, holding a press conference, and they're laying out everything they're doing. President hasn't been doing that, and that's really not the president's style. Is that maybe the president ought to consider doing that? Well, that's a comms team decision. I don't necessarily have a problem with that at all. But the American people need to understand why we are over there. And I'm not sure that was conveyed in a very clear manner yesterday. But the reality is that whatever information they had was so bad and so terrifying that they had to take immediate action. Now, here's what you need to understand about ballistic missiles. It is almost impossible to shoot those things down. So if, in fact, Iran had that capability to send a missile to the United States, if they had that, if they discovered that Iran had that capability, then yeah, they had to go in and they had to destroy it all. And if you're going to go in, you got to finish the job. We should have done that with Iraq in the first war. We didn't do it. And look what happened. All right, got to take a break here. 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
You're with Todd Starnes. America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has been on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms while providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all three of the main networks. Patriot Mobile's all-U.S.-based support team is standing by to take care of you. Call 972-PATRIOT today or go to patriotmobile.com/Todd. Use promo code Todd for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT, code Todd.
At a time when technology is often used to distort the truth, there's a new tool that's actually getting it right. My Faith Assistant is a Bible-based AI designed to help you understand God's Word and grow spiritually. Unlike generic AI tools that give vague or unbiblical answers, My Faith Assistant is anchored in Scripture, built on seminary-level resources, and shaped by more than 50 years of trusted teaching from Dr. Michael Youssef. And it's free, no login required. Try it today at myfaithassistant.com.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. But prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga. My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is the Todd Starnes radio show. And this episode of, or this segment of the show, brought to you by our good friends at MyPillow, Mike Lindell, and the MyPillow team, offering our great listeners some wonderful, wonderful spring deals. Classic MyPillows, normally $49.98, now just $14.98. All you have to do to get these best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS. You're going to get discounts on just about every single thing on the website. That's MyPillow.com, promo code STARNS. Or you can give them a call at 800-839-8506. That's 800-839-8506. And if you order now, your entire order ships absolutely free. But you got to use my promo code STARNS. Mention STARNS, write it in the promo code on the website, and you're going to get your entire order shipped absolutely free. That is a pretty good deal as well. Dylan, do you have the big, Easter weekend? Got big Easter weekend plans?
Well, our church is doing a Good Friday service, so tomorrow we'll be doing that. And then Easter, probably hang out with the family, just have a good.
Yeah, I know what you're. Yeah, you're going to the in-laws.
I am going to the in-laws. It's.
I talked to your mom last night. We're doing the big Peabody.
That's always fun. Peabody does it really big for Easter.
The Peabody Hotel, the Grand Hotel of the South, and it's an incredible Easter brunch buffet, and they got the Easter Bunny. Easter Bunny hops along to your table. It's a great little photo and everything.
I was about to say something, but I don't know if he hops around with mimosas.
That is true. That is true. The Peabody.
He'll hop to your table. Can I get you another one?
Well, or just sort of slink over to your table, depending on which. No, it's a lot of fun, and we love our friends at the Peabody Hotel, and hopefully I might run into some of you fine folks there as well. Be sure to drop by the Stearns table. So always a happening table. All right, hang tight, everybody. Hour 2 of the big show coming up. Luke Simbel joining us. Also, former Virginia Governor George Allen. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies and fiber and spice supplements. Our ingredients are 16 whole fruits, 15 whole vegetables, 4 powerful fibers, and 12 aromatic spices. It's one irresistible combo.
Oh, I have a friend, Julia, who has taken a Balance of Nature now for quite some time, and she said, "Oh, Becky, ask your doctor about taking Balance of Nature." So I talked to my doctor about it, and she said, "Oh, try it."
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists. So if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are two ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week. Or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the Recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNS and save $100 on Recruiter. Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
At a time when technology is often used to distort the truth, there's a new tool that's actually getting it right. My Faith Assistant is a Bible-based AI designed to help you understand God's Word and grow spiritually. Unlike generic AI tools that give vague or unbiblical answers, My Faith Assistant is anchored in Scripture, built on seminary-level resources, and shaped by more than 50 years of trusted teaching from Dr. Michael Youssef. And it's free, no login required. Try it today at myfaithassistant.com.
There's a fierce debate raging within the Christian community over illegal immigration. A number of churches say we have a moral responsibility to care for people from other nations. But at what cost to law-abiding Americans? That's the broader question. Don't Americans have a moral responsibility to care for Americans first? Yet some of the nation's most prominent evangelicals say America first is akin to Christian nationalism. Well, I completely disagree with that notion. There's nothing wrong with being a Christian who believes in putting the needs of Americans first. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem paving the way for what could be a full travel ban from countries that are flooding our nation with killers, leeches, and entitlement junkies. She points out our founding fathers built this nation on blood, sweat, and the unyielding love of freedom, not for foreign invaders to kill our heroes and take away our tax money. My philosophy is simple: help Americans first, and if there's anything left, we can help others. I'm Todd Starnes.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
Live from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's Common Sense Conservative Commentary from Todd Starnes.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Todd Starnes Radio Show. Great to have you with us today. And we start this hour, ladies and gentlemen, with some breaking news.
Breaking news now on the Todd Starnes Show.
Well, we can confirm that Pam Bondi has now been fired. She is out as Attorney General, and the reporting of Fox News is that Lee Zeldin, who is currently the EPA director, is being considered as her replacement. All of this unfolding pretty rapidly. We understand that Bondi was fired last night. She apparently met with the president in the Oval Office just ahead of the speech he delivered, where she was informed that she was being dismissed. One of the sources said that by the time Trump took his place behind the podium, Bondi had already lost her job and was already on a plane back to Florida. We understand that Lee Zeldin, who is currently the Environmental Protection Agency director, is going to be the replacement. You know, a lot of people have suggested perhaps Judge Jeanine Pirro, but we shall see. A Justice Department spokesperson denied the reporting when reached for a comment. The Attorney General, quote, was with Trump for the speech last night. So there you go. This is the headline now at Fox News. So, look, not surprising, ladies and gentlemen, to hear this news. We have been quite critical of the Attorney General and the lack of action. I mean, the reality is, and again, this is the reporting of Fox News, so if this is in fact accurate, it is not surprising at all. Pam Bondi has been problematic, and we've talked about this a lot on the program. She is one of the nicest people you will ever meet. We've had incredible conversations. She is a very cordial person, but the reality is that she was not being very effective in the role as Attorney General. And many people in the MAGA movement have been very upset. There's been no movement to prosecute the Russia collusion folks, the people behind that, the Clintons, the Hunter Biden laptop story. I mean, all of these massive scandals, nobody's been charged. Nobody's been punished for the attacks on Donald Trump, the sabotage of Donald Trump. A lot of the cases, some of the high-profile cases from Charlie Kirk to the assassination attempts have been botched or bungled. There's just been a lot of chaos within the Justice Department. So we're going to open up the phone lines on this, and we will continue to bring you information as we get it. But Fox News is reporting that Attorney General Pam Bondi has been fired. Do you believe that she needed to lose her job? Was this the right move for the president to make? And who do you think ought to be the new Attorney General? Our telephone number, by the way, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. And we're going to be taking your calls on that. But again, this is breaking news, and we'll keep you updated. There have been a lot of departures from Justice Department over the past couple of weeks, some of them high profile, some of them not. So there has been a lot of unrest. Of course, there have been the reporting going back for quite some time that Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino were at odds with one another. What a mess. What a mess. But the reality of it is very clear, ladies and gentlemen, that we have got to start cracking down on these Democrats and this lawlessness. And if Pam Bondi could not do the job, then we need somebody in there who can. And hear me on this. Hear me on this. If, in fact, Pam Bondi, who is a very accomplished litigator, a very accomplished attorney, Pam Bondi may have actually taken a look at all the evidence that was compiled from all of these hearings up on Capitol Hill and determined that it was a bunch of nonsense and that there was no legal case here. And if that was the case, then she needed to come out and lay out her cards, let everybody see what's going on. But clearly the president upset with the path that the Justice Department was going down and the lack of action. And how many times did the president say in public that Pam needed to get a move on? Well, not in those words specifically, but you know what I'm talking about. 901-260-5926 is our number. That's 901-260-5926. President Trump last night, by the way, talking to the nation, addressing the nation, we did not get much new intel, and I explained that in the previous hour. And one of the reasons why is this speech last night, which was carried on every single major broadcast company. Everybody carried this speech last night. So tens of millions of Americans were watching. And the reason why this was important is that speech was not for folks like us who live and breathe politics. This was for all the folks who do not. And the president laid out why we're over there and what we're doing over there. Anyway, here's the president.
Thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. In the meantime, discussions are ongoing. Regime change was not our goal. We never said regime change, but regime change has occurred because of all of their original leaders' death. They're all dead. The new group is less radical and much more reasonable. Yet if during this period of time no deal is made, we have our eyes on key targets. If there is no deal, we are going to hit each and every one of their electric generating plants very hard and probably simultaneously. We have not hit their oil, even though that's the easiest target of all, because it would not give them even a small chance of survival or rebuilding.
So there you have the president sort of laying it all out there, and I love this approach. The president says they haven't even seen the worst of the worst yet. That's going to come. So the Iranians have to be somewhat freaking out because in the past, when Barack Hussein Obama was delivering the piles of cash, the pallets of cash to the Iranians, they knew exactly what the Americans were going to do, but not anymore. And that's exactly the way it should be. And if nothing else, the American people are revered and respected around the world now. There's another component to all of this, by the way. And again, we're looking at some moving dynamics here with relationships. And as we were talking about this yesterday, NATO is not offering a single penny to help the president here. Keep in mind, what we're doing in Iran is going to help the entire world. But NATO doesn't want anything to do with it. As a matter of fact, there are nations like Spain and the UK that will not allow the United States to use military bases or fly over their countries for operations. Meanwhile, you have the Arab nations that are embracing Donald Trump. They're embracing the United States, and they're the ones that are saying, thank you, God bless you, Mr. President. Or for the Muslim countries, Allah bless you. We are watching a change in dynamics where our allies may very well end up being the Arab nations and not NATO. And President Trump laid it out and said, hey, look, NATO nations, if you want that oil, well, you're going to have to clear the Strait of Hormuz. That's your job, not ours. Otherwise, you're more than happy to buy oil from us or Venezuela, which is really our oil, too. So we'll see how all of that plays out. The only time those European nations want our help is when they're being invaded. And I say, you know what? Next time, call somebody else. All right, we've got to take a break here, repeating our breaking news from Washington, and now CBS News confirming this as well. Attorney General Pam Bondi has been fired. We do not know of her replacement. I have no doubt that information will be coming out shortly. We're hearing Lee Zeldin. We're going to be taking your calls on that, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
He's a man of his word. Todd Starnes.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes. You know, you have lots of choices for cell phone service with new ones popping up all the time. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American and believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that's Patriot Mobile. The good news is you can switch to Patriot Mobile today without sacrificing quality or service. Worried about coverage? Don't be. Patriot Mobile uses all three major U.S. networks. If you have service in this country today, you'll have as good or better coverage with Patriot Mobile. Think switching is a hassle? Well, it's not. You can keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Patriot Mobile's 100% U.S.-based team will get you activated in minutes from the comfort of your own home. Stuck in a contract or owe money on your phones? No worries. Patriot Mobile has a contract buyout program. This is how we win, folks, by aligning our spending with our values. Every dollar we spend matters. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. Use promo code Todd and get a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year, and they're looking to make 2026 the best year yet. And as a thank you to my listeners, MyPillow is offering exclusive free shipping on your entire order at wholesale pricing. That means they're bringing back the mega sale exclusively for my listeners. For example, the classic My Pillows, normally $49.98, now marked down to only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the made in the USA My Pillow, My Mattress Topper. Save up to $100. Get a set of My Pillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com. Use promo code STARNS. Or give them a call, 800-839-8506. These offers won't last long, so call now, 800-839-8506, or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS. Order now, and your entire order ships free.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours. At any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Peter.
Kaylee, I just got off the phone with President Trump. We have a big scoop. Pam Bondi will soon leave her job as the Attorney General. She is going to get a different job within the administration. It doesn't sound like there is any bad blood between her and President Trump, but it does seem like they want her to go and do something else. And in an interim role, she will be replaced by Todd Blanche, who is currently her deputy at the Justice Department. So it doesn't sound like Blanche is being elevated long term to the Attorney General. There might be somebody else that the president wants to go in there. But President Trump soon will announce to the entire world that it is the end of Pam Bondi's time as the Attorney General. He still thinks that she is a great person and that she did a good job. And he still wants her in the fold because she will still be an important part of the administration, he tells me. But no longer as the top law enforcement officer of the United States. That, at least for a little while, is going to be Todd Blanche.
Ducey,
heard it here first.
That's rather big news, and I'm sure you don't have the answer to this, but there have been some rumored names to replace her. Did you happen to catch that?
So far, Todd Blanche.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We'd be remiss if we didn't ask. Okay. Thank you so much, Peter.
Okay, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's from Fox News. But we can now tell you that Todd Blanche is going to be at least temporarily replacing Pam Bondi as the interim AG. There have been a lot of talk about Lee Zeldin coming into that role full time. Now, what's interesting about Todd Blanche, this guy is actually, well, up until a few years ago, the guy was a Democrat. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on Todd Blanche, and we'll let you know how all of that turns out. But wow, what was already a busy news day, getting even a little bit busier. We are expecting the president to come out sometime and make all of this official, but clearly there has been some upheaval, and the president's been really upset over the lack of movement on prosecuting all of these Democrats. And I don't blame the president. He has a right to be frustrated. So we're taking your calls on this, 901-260-5926. Again, 901-260-5926. So I want to play this audio from, let's see here. Yes. So there's been an incident, a couple of incidents at airports in Dallas and Houston and Atlanta, where passengers have gone into the chapels. Now, a lot of airports have chapels, and people go in there to pray or reflect or do whatever. And many of these chapels have now been turned into mosques. And a couple of months ago, we talked to a pastor who had gone to the chapel in the Dallas-Fort Worth airport and was actually told he was not allowed to enter because it was Muslim prayer time and that Christians were not allowed inside the airport chapel. And it created a lot of controversy. The airport said, no, that was just a misunderstanding. Well, it turned out not to be a misunderstanding, and that now Muslims are taking over these prayer rooms at airports around the country. Take a listen.
Remember how we talked about, we all kind of woke up after Mom Donnie got elected, and now we've been talking about all these things that are going on in Georgia, these facilities that are being built, all the mosques in Texas, all the mosques up near Atlanta, that we're fourth in line, that the mosques are actually forward operating bases. It wouldn't surprise me if they don't have guns and ammo stored inside. But did you know that one of our major airports, Houston Airport, just added a full Muslim mosque experience? It has separate private prayer rooms for men and women. It's a really fancy wudu washing station so they can pray before prayer. Qibla direction to show them how to face towards Mecca. That's right. Very, very fancy. I mean, I think this washing station is like gold and it looks pretty fancy to me. And then Atlanta now offers at their airport a Friday Muslim prayer service, and they also offer the Quran and prayer rugs as needed and a mini wudu station. They said it was due to demand and so they could keep up with the rest of the world.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. The Islamification of America. And it's been happening under the radar for so long that a lot of folks are just now waking up and understanding what's really going on here. Incredibly troubling. But anyway, it's all paid for by your tax dollars. So you, ladies and gentlemen, are literally paying for the Islamification of your own country. 901-260-5926 is our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. By the way, coming up tonight on the Todd Stern Show on Newsmax, we're going to have the very latest on what's happening with Pam Bondi and the Attorney General. Also, we have some very special guests, including the Nuge. Ted Nugent is going to join the show tonight, and that's going to be a fun conversation. Also, Congresswoman Beth Van Dyne will be with us as well. Want to give you a heads up about a Social Security update. 70 million Americans now collecting Social Security benefits, millions more on the way. And a new study finds that 70% of you guys are not getting the full benefits you deserve. We have a strategy for you to get as much as $188,000 more over your lifetime. It is in a free special report courtesy of our friends at Newsmax. And if you'd like to get a copy of this to find out whether, and by the way, it doesn't matter if you're getting benefits or you're about to get benefits, you need to get this information. Call right now, 800-999-9690. That's 800-999-9690. We're going to text you right away. Text and data rates may apply, but give us a call, 800-999-9690, and we will send you for free of charge those 5 key strategies from our friend Social Security expert Michael Allen. By the way, folks, coming up, Luke Simbal is going to be joining us momentarily, one of our great Republican strategists. We'll get his take on what just happened with Pam Bondi. Also, ladies and gentlemen, excited to announce we have even more people endorsing my new book. It's called The Golden Age, How Trump Saved America. Senator Marsha Blackburn, Congressman Ron Estes out of Kansas, among those that are signing on, of course, Speaker Mike Johnson has endorsed the book, as well as the President of these great United States. But more importantly than all of that, I want you to endorse the book. I want you to pre-order a copy today. This is the book that is going to help shape the future direction of the country, because we take a look at the great successes of Donald J. Trump. and we explain how we are going to have to pick up the mantle and carry the America First torch into the next generation. How do we do that? Well, I lay out the plan in The Golden Age, How Trump Saved America. So I want you to get a copy. We need your help at this. And I'm telling you today, if we could just have 1,000 of our listeners going in the break to Amazon or Barnes & Noble and pre-ordering a copy, that is going to be so helpful to us and to our publisher as we get ready for launch day. Book will officially be out in May, but we want you to pre-order right now, primarily because the last book sold out 3 days after it came out in bookstores. So we want to avoid that happening, and the way you can help is this pre-ordering. We need 1,000 of our listeners right now to go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble and purchase a copy of The Golden Age, How Trump Saved America. We'll be right back, everybody.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it, I recognized that I was feeling better. You know what I'm saying? And just mentally knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all don't sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Get hurt in a game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Mama, what does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
When the wolf?
Oh, a wolf. Ooh!
What about the tiny dog? Cat? Owl? Dolphin? What does the turkey say? Whale?
Yeah, whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Todd Stearns Radio Show. And, of course, the breaking news, Pam Bondi out. The president says they're going to find something else for her to do in the administration. That's from the reporting of Fox News. CBS News also now reporting it. I want to welcome into the conversation our good friend Luke Simbel, Republican strategist. Luke, your reaction to this breaking news?
Look, I think we knew it was coming. There have been rumblings about it for a while. And I thank Pam Bondi for her service. I think she served a purpose when she was first brought in as AG. And now we are really needing somebody who can lead the entire institution as Trump wants it to be led. And again, I like Pam Bondi personally. She has been incredibly kind to me, to Memphis. But we need somebody that can lead the institution. And, you know, we have the House Oversight Committee, and we have a lot of investigations going on with criminal actions by Democrats. You have Ilhan Omar marrying her brother, you know, immigration fraud. You have investigations into what Democrats were doing under the Biden administration. And Trump really wants to pursue some of that, and it's not happening.
Yeah, no, it's not happening. And that's the thing. We had the vice president sat down for an interview with one of the podcasters the other day, and the vice president was like, oh, yeah, we got the goods on Ilhan Omar. Okay, well, first of all, why are you telling us that? Why aren't you doing something? Has she been arrested? Has she been indicted? If not, why are you telling us this?
Well, and we've been hearing forever about this Act Blue money laundering scheme where the Democrats, you know, were illegally moving money around through their donation site apparatus. And I've been hearing about it for months and months, but there are no indictments. Where is the DOJ following up on it? So, you know, again, she served a purpose at the very beginning of the administration. She is a nice lady, but it's time that we have somebody run it who knows how to run large institutions like that and will further Trump's agenda. I had heard the name Lee Zeldin a lot on X today and kind of the pundit apparatus. I was very excited about that. My understanding is now Todd Blanche will be acting AG, but I think Lee Zeldin would make an excellent attorney general.
All right. Let's go to the phones real quick here. 901-260-5926. We have John in Georgia. All right, John, what do you think about this news?
Todd, you're a great American.
Well, thank you.
Todd, in my opinion, it's not going to matter who they put in charge of the DOJ or the FBI. I think they're both controlled by other forces. And all these investigations are just a waste of time. They're never going to do anything to any of these people. They're never going to prosecute any of these politicians or, you know, it's just never going to happen. That's my opinion anyway. I'm 70 years old. I've been around for a little while, so it's kind of disgusting to me, but that's just the way I feel.
So John, I think I understand exactly what you're talking about here, and the same thing happened with Jeff Sessions during the first Trump term in office, Luke, you had all of these. You had the president wanting the attorney general to take action on all the people who did him wrong, did him dirty. That never happened. Now you've got Pam Bondi in office. She didn't do anything. Todd Blanche, who just up until a couple of years ago was a Democrat, I know he's a placeholder, but I would have some serious questions about that.
We need somebody with a proven track record of not only defending President Trump and furthering his agenda, but who can lead an organization. And that's why I said just a few moments ago that somebody like Elise Zeldin, who I grew up in New York State, who did a really great job running for governor, won several congressional districts. His gubernatorial race carried several congressional districts. It's the reason we won the House and back when he ran. And I think he's an example of somebody who knows how to run these institutions, root out the problems while furthering Trump's agenda. And you're right. And Trump didn't just want to go after the people who did him dirty. These are the people who acted illegally. This is holding everybody to the same standard under the law, and it's time that we right the ship. We have seen the DOJ go after conservatives time and time and time again, and it's time to right the ship and say nobody is above the law. And we know for a fact that the Elon Omar, the Democrats' online fundraising apparatus, we know that there are issues there, and the DOJ has to do something about it.
Luke Simbel joining us in studio, and our telephone number, 901-260-5926. If you'd like to join the conversation, that's 901-260-5926. Luke, last night the president coming out and delivering a speech to the nation. Were you satisfied with what the president had to say, and is he making the case for the base?
I will tell you, I scoured X last night after that speech to see what was being said, and not a lot was said. And what that tells me is this is a problem for us in the midterms. I do not think that the average American is buying the story that we need to be as involved as we are in this Iranian conflict. And what I am hoping is that we can accomplish, and President Trump said this last night, that we can accomplish the mission very quickly. And when I say quickly, I mean like within the next couple of weeks, because we've got to wrap this up. We have to get gas prices down to where they were before. Inflation was falling, the economy was turning around, and all of that is halted right now because of this conflict. Prices are rising again. Gas, it is more than doubled what it was just a month ago to fill up your car. We have to end this quickly and then focus on the midterm so people can feel that economy moving, and we can focus on America.
When you look at the gas situation, I think it will, in fact, those prices will go down. The challenge is if we are still fighting this war for even a couple of more months, those prices at the grocery store and other things like automobiles, all of that's going to go up. The price of purchasing things, and I think that is going to be problematic for the Republicans.
It will be very problematic, and that's why I say this needs to be wrapped up in weeks, not months.
All right. Luke Simbel, ladies and gentlemen, what say you? 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. I know in Tennessee, for example, big race coming up for governor. South Carolina, a lot of folks wondering about Lindsey Graham over in South Carolina. And somebody from the one of the major newspapers had reached out to me and said, what's your take on that? Does Lindsey Graham, is he threatened by these primary opponents? And I don't think he is. And when you look at the primary opponents, I don't think they're strong enough to take on a Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
What about here in Tennessee?
Well, here in Tennessee, all the polling shows that Marsha Blackburn is just running away with the race. She's 50 points ahead of the next two. I think John Rose, who's running, the last poll showed about 7%, and then Monty Fritz showed about 4%. And you're right about Lindsey Graham. This is not a John Cornyn versus Ken Paxton situation at all. Ken Paxton is well known in the state. In Texas. He made he made a lot of news. Conservatives really liked him. He's viewed as a conservative fighter, and that's why John Cornyn is having such an issue with this primary. Lindsey Graham is running against opponents who are not nearly as strong, are not nearly as well known, and there are two major opponents. So Lindsey Graham is going to be fine, and he always gets a healthy portion of that primary vote in South Carolina.
All right, Luke Simbel joining us here. Any other big races that you're looking at that you're interested in?
I mean, not really. It's the messaging I'm focused on coming out of the White House on the midterms. And that's why I say right now we are really distracted with the Iranian conflict. It makes me very concerned that we're not focusing on the things that we need to focus on to get out the base in the midterms. And when if the Democrats take over the House, and there are some even saying they may take over the Senate, I'm not totally convinced on that, but if they take over the House, Donald Trump will be impeached, and it's going to be investigation after investigation, and we're not going to get anything done. And although some would say we're not really getting a lot done, we can't even pass the SAVE Act apparently. So maybe
we're
we're
really
not getting
not.
anything
Yeah.
done.
I wish people would look at what's happening in Tennessee, because we actually do have voter ID. You've got to show your ID. I love telling the story. I went to my local voting place in my town, and the lady who was at the front desk, a good friend of mine, and we had a great little conversation. I said, "I'm here to vote." She says, "I got to see your ID, Todd."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
How easy is
and
it?
how offensive is it to minorities and women when the Democrats are saying minorities and women can't figure out how to get an ID? I mean, I see a lot of women buying wine at the grocery store. I mean, it's so offensive and condescending, and everybody knows it's bunk. And but the fact that we cannot pass the SAVE Act through the Senate is a major, major problem, and it's going to severely hurt Republicans. It's discouraging to the base.
One of the funniest things I saw the other day, there was this was trending on social media. You had a black pastor or a politician. He was in a church filled with black voters, and he was trying to make the point that voter ID was going to disenfranchise the black community, minority community. He said, "How many of you people in here have an ID?" And everybody's hand, everybody raised their hand. It's like, well, so much for that argument.
It's just offensive and condescending. I mean, you want to talk about racism? To me, that's racist to say black people don't know how to figure out how to get an ID. It's unacceptable.
I love it. It's a great thing, and I agree. I think when you look at the numbers, the polling data, just as many Democrats as Republicans think we should be able to show an ID when you go to vote.
Where I grew up in New York State, it is literally illegal to ask somebody to prove who they are when you're voting. Like, you are not allowed to ask for an ID. That I could say my name is Sally Sue, and Sally Sue is a 4'9" white old lady, and I could go in there and say I'm Sally Sue, and I could vote under her name because there's no ID checks.
But this is the bottom line. Everybody's all concerned about the redistricting. Everybody's concerned about the gerrymandering. All of that goes away if we can just have a fair election. I mean, if we have fair elections, Republicans are going to win.
I totally agree with you. And speaking of gerrymandering, I think it's very interesting, these redrawing of congressional maps across the country to try to get more Republicans or more Democrats. And it will be interesting to see, Todd. We have a race here in Tennessee with Steve Cohen, a longtime senator, a longtime congressman in Memphis, and with a young man running against him, Justin Pearson, who's really a radical activist. And that is a very serious race to watch. And I have the sneaking suspicion that if the radical guy wins, Tennessee will be redrawing its map, because we have no interest in sending somebody like that to Congress.
He's basically Jasmine Crockett with the power fro.
You are exactly right. Same story. Went to a Tony school up in the Northeast. There's videos of him with a totally different dialect, and then he runs for local office here in Memphis, and he's a completely different person. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
He talks whiter than me when he's around white people. He talks blacker than Jasmine Crockett when he's around black people.
It's really remarkable.
I'm just like, dude, pick a dialect.
You're exactly right.
But what I found fascinating, the New York Times actually did a big story about that particular congressional race, and what I found, I knew this was going to happen. So Steve Cohen is a classic liberal, not a progressive. He's a liberal, and he's a white guy, and he's Jewish, and he represents an overwhelmingly black congressional district.
Yep.
And so they're framing this literally in the headline, a white guy versus a black guy. An old white guy versus a young black guy. This is going to be about race. It's going to get ugly.
I totally agree with you. It's going to be a nasty, nasty primary, June, July, leading to the August primary. And I don't know who's going to win. And it's just this classic example of the Democrat part, the radicals taking over the Democrat Party.
That's it. I mean, it really is. And the ultimate reality, and You said I want to feel sorry for Steve Cohen about what's to happen, but I really can't because he is a mean, nasty guy.
He is a mean, nasty guy, but I will tell you, Todd, I never thought I would find myself rooting for Steve Cohen to win anything, but I'm kind of rooting for him to. I mean, he does bring some things back for Memphis, and I just don't think this Justin Pearson guy, Jasmine Crockett 2.0, is going to bring anything back for Memphis.
I think you're right. It's going to be a fun. I've got my Dr. Pepper. I've got the Orville Redenbacher, and I'm gonna be watching this one, and I'm gonna be laughing my head off. That's gonna be one heck of a Democrat primary.
It will show the country what's happening to the Democrat Party.
Absolutely. And if Justin Pearson gets elected, you're gonna have another Jasmine Crockett, Ilhan Omar style candidate coming out of all places, the state of Tennessee. So that's kind of shocking.
You're exactly right.
All right, good to see you, Luke.
Thank you for having me.
All right, hang tight, everybody. Got to take a break.
Making radio great again. The Todd Starnes Radio Show.
Hey, Todd Starnes here. Every day, Americans make choices that shape our country's future, right down to which cell phone provider we support. Now, here's what a lot of people don't realize. Patriot Mobile is not just a wireless provider. They're an activist organization funded by selling top-tier cell phone service, and they've been on the front lines defending our freedom long before it was cool, standing in the gap when others would not. And the best part is they deliver prioritized premium service on all three major U.S. networks. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you help grow a movement that fuels the Christian conservative cause. Every bill you pay helps advance the values of faith, family, and freedom. And switching is easier than ever. Activated minutes. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Take a stand today. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. Use promo code Todd for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd. Call 972-PATRIOT. Make the switch today.
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
At a time when technology is often used to distort the truth, there's a new tool that's actually getting it right. My Faith Assistant is a Bible-based AI designed to help you understand God's Word and grow spiritually. Unlike generic AI tools that give vague or unbiblical answers, My Faith Assistant is anchored in Scripture, built on seminary-level resources, and shaped by more than 50 years of trusted teaching from Dr. Michael Youssef. And it's free, no login required. Try it today at myfaithassistant.com.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds.
Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Todd Stearns Radio Show. My goodness, what a day it's been. Dylan, I'm still trying to get a handle on what exactly happened in the first hour of the show with the whole aliens thing.
Yeah, it's a little creepy. I don't know how to take it. You know, I go to church. I'm a religious person. So, you know, I like to think on the same lines as you. Is there some spiritual aspect to this that, you know, maybe we don't know about, maybe we're not supposed to know about, but yeah.
Crazy. It's just crazy. All right, we're going to be talking to Dr. Paul Chappell about that a little bit later on. The next hour of the show, we're excited to have the former governor of Virginia, George Allen, joining us. And he is really fired up. And I'm curious, we have a lot of listeners across the Commonwealth of Virginia. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on what the Democrats are trying to do. They basically want to destroy the Republican Party there. And one of the ways they're going to do that is by this gerrymandering of congressional districts. And when it's all said and done, you would be left with one Republican lawmaker. So George Allen is now leading the charge, and he wants to debate Abigail Spanberger. And he's throwing down the gauntlet and saying, hey, look, I want to debate you on this issue. So we're going to be talking to the governor coming up in the next hour. Also, again, Dr. Paul Chappell as well. Interesting story over on Breitbart, where now Congressman Brandon Gill becomes the latest lawmaker to say the Senate needs serious change. You know, I think we can all agree with that. Everybody is so upset over the lack of action and the lack of movement in the Senate. And John Thune doesn't want to listen to anybody. I mean, John Thune he's being backed, being supported by Mitch McConnell, and that's that. So he is not going to do what Trump wants him to do. And I think there could be some blowback there. But again, Congressman Brandon Gill saying the Senate needs serious change. And he says one of the ways to start that is by electing Ken Paxton. Ken Paxton is leading in all of the polling data we've seen. I'm curious to hear from all of our Texas listeners, and we've got a number of stations out in Texas that now carry the show. Where do you guys stand on this? Are you siding with John Cornyn? Are you going to vote for John Cornyn, or are you going to support and vote for Ken Paxton, your current attorney general? But according to Breitbart, the Senate has failed to pass the single most important piece of legislation in front of Congress, which is the Save America Act, in spite of President Trump's full backing, in spite of overwhelming support from the American people on both sides of the aisle. And they also, of course, failed to properly fund the Department of Homeland Security. So if we're going to enact President Trump's agenda, we're going to have to get MAGA senators elected to Congress. And as Breitbart says, Ken Paxton is a warrior who is ready, willing, and able to do whatever is necessary to support the president in the Senate, which is exactly what Texas needs. So we'll get into some of that in the next hour as well. 901-260-5926 is our telephone number. During the break, head over to Amazon and order a copy of my new book, The Golden Age, How Trump Saved America. You can also go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, wherever you buy your books. All right, hang tight, everybody. Hour 3 of The Big Show coming up next.
From fruits and veggies to fiber and spice, Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a natural bodybuilder, so I know when something works and when something doesn't. I've tried so many different products. When I got your product, and like I said, I'm a natural bodybuilder. As soon as I got it, did them for a week, and I told my brother, I said, Rick, you need to try these. You know I won't give you nothing if it don't. He tried them, bam, the first day. He said, this is a good product. And I got my mom on them, and I just keep pushing your product. It's a great product. You're a great company, and everybody there I've talked to has been so kind. Great product. It does what it says it does.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year, and they're looking to make 2026 the best year yet. And as a thank you to my listeners, MyPillow is offering exclusive free shipping on your entire order at wholesale pricing. That means they're bringing back the mega sale exclusively for my listeners. For example, the classic My Pillows, normally $49.98, now marked down to only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the made in the USA My Pillow My Mattress Topper. Save up to $100. Get a set of My Pillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com. Use promo code STARNS. Or give them a call, 800-839-8506. These offers won't last long, so call now, 800-839-8506, or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS. Order now, and your entire order ships free. Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
At a time when technology is often used to distort the truth, there's a new tool that's actually getting it right. My Faith Assistant is a Bible-based AI designed to help you understand God's Word and grow spiritually. Unlike generic AI tools that give vague or unbiblical answers, My Faith Assistant is anchored in Scripture, built on seminary-level resources, and shaped by more than 50 years of trusted teaching from Dr. Michael Youssef. And it's free, no login required. Try it today at myfaithassistant.com.
There's a fierce debate raging within the Christian community over illegal immigration. A number of churches say we have a moral responsibility to care for people from other nations. But at what cost to law-abiding Americans? That's the broader question. Don't Americans have a moral responsibility to care for Americans first? Yet some of the nation's most prominent evangelicals say America first is akin to Christian nationalism. Well, I completely disagree with that notion. There's nothing wrong with being a Christian who believes in putting the needs of Americans first. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem paving the way for what could be a full travel ban from countries that are flooding our nation with killers, leeches, and entitlement junkies. She points out our founding fathers built this nation on blood, sweat, and the unyielding love of freedom, not for foreign invaders to kill our heroes and take away our tax money. My philosophy is simple. Help Americans first, and if there's anything left, we can help others. I'm Todd Starnes.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
Live from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's conservative blowtorch.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Oh, yeah.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to the Todd Starnes Radio Show. Great to have you with us today. Hour 3 of what has been a very busy news day. And I look forward to seeing all of you, of course, tonight, 5 o'clock Eastern on the Todd Starnes Show, which you can watch on Newsmax. That's 5 o'clock Eastern time. One of the other big stories that we've been following involves the Commonwealth of Virginia, where the Democrats who campaigned as moderates turned out not to be so moderate after all. As a matter of fact, they're anything but moderate. We're talking about radical progressives. And one of the big concerns is redistricting, the gerrymandering of congressional districts. Democrats really want to stick it to the Republicans. Well, our next guest says, not going to happen under my watch. He is the former senator from the Commonwealth, a former governor of the Commonwealth, a great American patriot, George Allen. Good to have you with us today.
Great to be with you, Todd, there in West Tennessee, but I know you have stations in Virginia.
We have a lot of
closely.
stations. Yes, sir. And that's why one of the reasons we wanted you to come on the program, Governor, to talk about Abigail Spanberger, and you're jumping into the fight here. First of all, you could be sitting back at, I don't know, Virginia Beach having a nice cold beverage, but why are you jumping into the fight?
The reason, Todd, is I actually care about representative democracy. This is the 250th anniversary of our Declaration of Independence from the British monarchy. And what's happening in Virginia right now are these Democrats, funded primarily by these monarchical elitists out of New York, California, the DC area, Northern Virginia, are trying to take away honest, fair districts to rig elections so that in Virginia right now, there are 6 Democrats and 5 Republicans in Congress. They want to have these maps in such a way that it'll be 10 Democrats, 1 Republican, meaning that conservatives are represented by about 9% of the state. Even worse is how they're doing this. Our current maps are very fair maps. We have, and I advocated for this everywhere from Bristol to Northern Virginia to Virginia Beach. 5 years ago, a constitutional amendment for an independent bipartisan commission to draw up districts that are fair, that are communities of similar interest. It's graded an A by the Princeton Project. What they want to do is take, for example, the Shenandoah Valley that has a congressman right now, and they divide it up 5 different ways. And they have these districts that look like lobsters, they look like squid, they look like ostriches, they look like giraffes. And it's a way for Northern Virginia to control 5 members of Congress as opposed to 3 that they have presently. Here in the Tidewater area, we have 3 representatives. They're going to reduce that to 2 and give that 1 to Northern Virginia. And the Virginia Farm Bureau, by the way, to their courageous credit, has come out against it because it's giving away the voice or taking away the voice of the people in rural areas and outer suburbs and giving it to densely populated urban areas. And so I've actually challenged or invited our current governor, Spanberger, to 3 debates in Virginia. Before the election, she mentioned nothing about this. And then all of a sudden they're rushing this thing through, trying to have a vote, and they'll have a vote. It's going on now until April 21st. And they got about $40 million in this money coming in from out of state. And they're trying to inveigle and sucker Virginians into giving up their voices for this partisan political power play. And most Virginians, and by the way, the referendum to amend the Constitution of Virginia, the voters have to approve it. And it was 66% in 2020. 2.7 million Virginians voted to have independent commissions deciding districts, not the conniving, meddling hands of politicians who try to rig the results the way they want it, rather than the people choosing who they think is the best person to represent their voices.
I hesitate to ask this question, but I'm wondering, have you found any folks on the Democrat side of the aisle who actually agree with you here that this is all a very bad idea from Spanberger and the Democrats?
I'm sure glad you asked, Todd. Yes, I have. And in fact, I'm in a group called No Gerrymandering Virginia. It is a bipartisan group. Our key advisor, so to speak, is a fellow named Brian Cannon, a reasonable Democrat. He and I went all over Virginia trying to persuade Republicans and Democrats for this really laudatory constitutional amendment for an independent commission. And so he's with us. And then we also have another person named Chap Peterson, a Democrat from Northern Virginia, a man of integrity. He got knocked out in a Democrat primary because he had the temerity of saying that they were excessively shutting down businesses with all these caging of Virginians and enterprises and schools during the COVID pandemic. Virginia was not governed like y'all were in Tennessee, which was very admirable in Tennessee, and Virginia was disgusting with the timid acquiescence to all this. But Chap Peterson, because he actually stood up for certain principles and common sense, gets knocked down in a Democrat primary. So we are finding that there are obviously Republicans, if they're aware, they're going to be voting against this power grab. Independents are still trying to figure it all out, libertarians, and there are Democrats. There are Democrats, and I may not say it's a majority, but there are Democrats who say, wait a second, we've been fighting for this for a long time. Why are we punishing Virginia people, the people of Virginia, because you're upset about President Trump or Texas legislature or Missouri? And we try to say, look, what President Trump in Texas did was wrong. But let's look at South Carolina. Let's look at Kansas, or the most notable, Indiana, where the Republicans there said, we're not going to do this abnormal mid-decade gerrymandering. And they took a lot of heat, but they stood for principle. And so we're looking for people to be with us on this to protect honest, fair districts in our representative democracy.
Governor, I think one of the things that we've also got to talk about is what's going on within the Republican Party right now that actually led to the Democrats winning in the elections. I don't know, are Republicans not staying home? Are they not getting out there and voting in these, off presidential cycle elections? And what do we need to do to get Republican voters engaged again?
Another great question. And I'm not going to say that the campaign for governor last year was not a really well-run campaign. Nonetheless, in places that should be voting bigger, for example, Southwest Virginia, the Shenandoah Valley, Southside Virginia, the votes weren't turning out the way they had previously. I'm not saying that if they had turned out that it would have made a difference in the governor's race. They might have lost by 9% rather than 15. But it's absolutely essential that folks in Southwest Virginia, the Shenandoah Valley, Tidewater area, Southside Virginia, the Piedmont, these districts that they have. I know not everyone doesn't give you a little geography tour of Virginia, but they got places that are in the suburbs of Richmond that are represented by, would be represented poorly, of course, by members of Congress from densely populated Northern Virginia. You have these farm areas along the Chesapeake Bay. They're subjugated Northern Virginia interests, and it's just so wrong. Our Constitution, as in many states, say districts are to be compact, contiguous with communities of similar interests. They completely ignored it all, and they're rushing this through, ramming it through. Fortunately, but for your Virginia listeners, you're seeing all these ads. They're such deceptive, deceitful ads. And the reality is, just a few years ago, Abigail Spanberger, our present governor, said that gerrymandering was detrimental to democracy. And so now she's kowtowed to these New York and California and DC political influences. And so what they're trying to do is steal and cheat for the next 6 years and get 4 congressional districts, because to me, it evinces that they don't have much confidence in the quality of their candidates or the popularity of their agenda, that they have to go to this extent to gerrymander and rig the election results, regardless of what the quality or popularity of their ideas may be.
Well, I think it's a great thing you're doing, Governor, and I think it has to be done. And again, I think, Republican voters, and right now it's sort of an odd thing that's happening within the party. You've got populists, you've got who folks might call establishment, you've got evangelicals. I think everybody's going to have to get on the same plate here. And one of the most important things, we're also going to have to be smart when it comes to picking candidates that are actually electable. And I think that's a problem that we've seen nationwide when it comes to some of these congressional races, Governor.
Yeah, Todd, I always remember William F. Buckley said, nominate the most conservative candidate who can win.
That's it.
and Todd, you get it. And the reality is this is something that whatever these different, I'll say it's always hard to get all the wings of the Republican Party flapping together in the same direction. But this gerrymandering is such a threat to conservative voices and their representation in Congress. Everyone should be united with it. Then the key is to get independent voters to also agree and get out and vote. They look at, oh gosh, these Republicans and Democrats are always fussing. And if we can get 10% or even 15% of Democrats to vote against this, we can win. And it's a vassal uprising. We're getting outspent, 4 to 5 to 6 to 1. But if we can have the people get out and vote, we are the owners of the government. And in this year, again, the 250th anniversary of our Declaration of Independence here in Virginia, which is the cradle of American liberty, we ought to stand up and say, no, we're not going to give up fair representation in Congress. And I'm convinced it will be a great win. It'll be an upset, but I'm as long as I'm breathing and living, I'm going to be fighting for things that I believe in. And one of a former Tennessean is beyond Ronald Reagan is my modern political hero. The ones through history are Thomas Jefferson and David Crockett.
Yes,
who stood up for principle. And I remember when he lost his election in Tennessee because he opposed President Jackson's Indian Removal Act. He said, y'all may go to Hale. I'm going to Texas. And everyone remembers the Alamo and inspired Tennesseans, the volunteer state, and inspires me and people who love liberty. And so we need to stand up for what is right. And I think this is the principle that is so important. There's too much hypocrisy and situational principles in politics these days, but this is one that should unite everyone who believes in our republic and the proper representation in our government officials.
Well, Governor, I know we have radio stations that carry this show from Bristol all the way to Richmond and parts in between, and folks are really fired up, and we certainly appreciate you coming on and shining some light on this. Again, folks, we're going to pay very close attention to this. Governor, we'd love to get you on between now and the referendum, again, just to hit home the importance of this. And Republicans, the fate of your future is in your hands. So be sure to get out there and vote. Governor, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, and thank you, Todd. You're just outstanding to be helping the cause.
All right. The great George Allen, ladies and gentlemen, former governor, former senator. And you know what? He could be hanging out, enjoying retirement, but he is in the fight because he understands how important it is for the republic. We've got to stand, and we've got to take a stand here, folks. That's what it's all about. And we've got to take a break. 901-260-5926. Curious to hear from our Virginia listeners. Have you gotten out there? Have you done early voting? And what's the mood out there? This is the Todd Starnes Show.
This is the Todd Starnes Show.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year, and they're looking to make 2026 the best year yet. And as a thank you to my listeners, MyPillow is offering exclusive free shipping on your entire order at wholesale pricing. That means they're bringing back the mega sale exclusively for my listeners. For example, the classic My Pillows, normally $49.98, now marked down to only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the made in the USA My Pillow My Mattress Topper. Save up to $100. Get a set of My Pillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com. Use promo code STARNS. Or give them a call, 800-839-8506. These offers won't last long, so call now, 800-839-8506, or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS. Order now, and your entire order ships free. Todd Starnes here with a question for you. Are you struggling with losing weight, trying to eat better, trying to move more, and your body just isn't responding like, I don't know, something's off, but you can't quite figure out what it is? Look, I hear that all the time. And here's what I've learned. Most people are not failing. They're just missing a key piece, not another diet, not another extreme plan. For me, that missing piece was Calitrin, focusing on what happens while I sleep, the repairing, the reset, and the kickstart for weight loss. And when I added Calitrin at night, well, that's when things clicked.
Yes, Todd, exactly. That was my experience too. Once I added Calitrin at bedtime, it helped me burn through those fats and sugars instead of just holding on to them. Like you said, it wasn't just about the weight loss. Yes, I've lost over 40 pounds, but it's about the confidence, the energy. That's what feels so good.
And Elizabeth, right now with the Easter sale, Calitrin breaks down to about $1 a day. That's less than what we spend on, say, a coffee or a Dr. Pepper. So kickstart that weight loss and go to toploss.com or call 833-TOP-LOSS, code Todd.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back to the Todd Stearns Radio Show. Let's go right to the phone lines, 901-260-5926. Milwaukee, our good friend Jerry the Liberal. Jerry, what's on your mind today?
Yeah, Todd, I agree. We shouldn't have gerrymandering, but if we're going to do it, we have to do it nationwide because neither of the major political parties are going to choose not to do it. I mean, I hope the governor wants to end it nationwide because unfortunately, it seems like Republicans only started really more caring about gerrymandering when it started hurting them. I hope that's not what it is, because in my state of Wisconsin, we have been gerrymandered to death for the last 15 years, even though we're exactly like a purple state, half Democrats and half Republicans. And I would love to see no gerrymandering throughout the country, but you got to do it through a national legislation.
So we've actually, there have been some studies done, Jerry, and look, I agree with you. I think the gerrymandering is out of control. But the reality is, the facts are that it's the Democrat Party that is more guilty of gerrymandering than the Republicans. And I mean, when you look at, for example, all of New England, where you don't have any representation of Republicans in Congress. I know Arnold Schwarzenegger brought up New Mexico. 45% of the voters in New Mexico backed Republicans, and yet there are no Republican representatives in the House because of the gerrymandering there.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So if it's a problem, we end it nationwide. We don't look and say that this party is one necessarily worse than the other. We just get federal legislation. Democrats have supported national legislation. Republicans, unfortunately, haven't. I think this hopefully changes the minds of Republicans to support such legislation.
But the issue is, why are the Democrats doing this? Why are they punishing Republican voters? By the way, and you mentioned parties, Indiana Republicans refused to go down that path, even though it would have helped their own party. They chose not to do that. That just happened.
Why did Republican politicians in Wisconsin punish me as a Milwaukee voter and dilute my vote for the last 15 years by hyper gerrymandered districts?
Jerry, I'm just going to tell you, you're going to live a better life under a Republican governor, my friends.
Fair elections. All I'm asking is fair elections nationwide. Let's have fair elections in Massachusetts, New Mexico, Wisconsin, Indiana. Every state. No gerrymandering. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's something you're going to have to take up with the Democrats because, Jerry, ultimately, they're the one. Yes, they're the ones that are most guilty of it.
Support it because Democrats have supported national legislation. Republicans haven't.
Do you think that hold on, just a second here, Jerry. So what just happened in Virginia where you've got a woman running for governor and she lied to the voters? She said she was a moderate. She's a radical progressive, and she has allegedly opposed gerrymandering. She gets elected. She's a radical progressive. She's putting in all of these policies, and she's about to wipe out Republican representation. Don't you have a problem with that?
Yeah, I have a problem with that until we have a national ban on it. But in the meantime, there's no.
No, it's a state by state. It's a state by state decision.
You can't say Democrats shouldn't gerrymander, but okay for Republicans to gerrymander. That's not going to go. Both sides have to agree to end it.
Well, that's a much longer conversation. But the fact of the matter is, Republicans are not playing the game that the Democrats are playing. That's the problem. Jerry got to run. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show. We are living in dangerous and unstable times. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Starnes. Pandemics, international insecurity, shortages, supply chain disruptions, and an economy on the brink. We know we can't simply trust the government to protect us. Now more than ever, everyone needs to be prepared. And being prepared is more than just stockpiling ammo, food, and supplies. Being prepared should also include stockpiling critical prescriptions at the Wellness Company Come In. Their medical emergency kit contains the prescriptions, antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics that you need to keep you and your family safe, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID, and even to a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Go to twc.health/Starnes today and order. That's twc.health/Starnes. Use the promo code Starnes, and you're going to save an extra 10%.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at smokeybear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go! Almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fan favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. Welcome back, everybody. Great to have you with us. So, as we mentioned earlier in the show, former Congressman Matt Gaetz sort of launched or sparked a national controversy when he said that he had been briefed as a congressman on a hybrid race mixing humans and aliens. In other words, it was an alien breeding program. Now, a lot of people didn't know how to take all of that until Congressman Tim Burchett showed up on Newsmax last night, and Congressman Burchett pretty much terrified the nation. Let's take a listen to what the congressman had to say.
I don't have the tinfoil hat on just yet, Congressman, but I'm wondering, kind of how you react to that, because you are connected. You're on the UFO subcommittee. I mean, I'm just wondering what you make of that. Have you heard anything like that?
Well, I'm still a member of Congress, so I can't really comment too much on what Matt said. But I will say this.
Wait, seriously? Are you being serious, or is that tongue in cheek?
I'm being 100% serious. Okay. I've been 100% serious. I've been briefed by just about every alphabet agency there is. And I'll just tell you this. If they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up. You'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff. We just need to disclose it all. I'm sick of it. Well, I was briefed. I'll just tell you this. I was briefed last week on an issue, or 2 weeks ago, and it would have set the earth off. This country would have come unglued, I think, if they would have heard all that I heard. They would demand answers, and we need to. But it's never going to get. Unfortunately, it just keeps getting covered up, and the people that know are dying or disappearing, as the case may be.
Wow.
And for the record, I'm not suicidal, and I don't take risks. So,
I'm glad you said that. I'm speechless, Congressman.
Well,
We will have you back.
You should be. And I told the president, release it all. And the problem is the people that are around the president don't know and the president doesn't know the questions to ask. A few of us are going to have to get with the president and tell him what he needs to ask and where he needs to look. I mean, we're in meetings and they give addresses and tell locations of items, I'll just say. And the public has a right to know, dadgummit. It's your tax dollars.
Absolutely.
Let's get it out there.
You got my attention, Congressman. I appreciate you being as forthcoming as you have been tonight. And we look forward to having you back. Look, I know Donald Trump wants to disclose something. He hasn't done it yet, but I think he wants to be the president to do that.
Okay. Yeah. You hear things like that coming from members of Congress, and we know Congressman Tim Burchett. He's a good guy. He's a straight shooter, dadgummit, as he is oft to say. So what in the world is going on here? Now, I think there is a spiritual component to all of this, and that's why I want to bring in our next guest. He is the pastor of Lancaster Baptist Church and the president of West Coast Baptist College in California, Dr. Paul Chappell. Dr. Chappell, good to have you with us today.
Well, thank you, and happy Resurrection Week. It's kind of amazing the topics you get pulled into during such a sacred and holy week. And so let's remember, first of all, that when those ladies came to the empty tomb, they heard the angel say, "Why seek ye the living among the dead? He is not here. He is risen as he said." And I'm thankful that whatever's going on in the world, I know that I serve a risen Savior, and my hope is found in him today.
And I want to talk about Good Friday and Easter Sunday in just a moment. But I think there are a lot of people around the country that are genuinely concerned or puzzled by some of the comments coming out of Washington. Other members of Congress today are now saying we need to release whatever information we have on these so-called aliens, and that does lead to a spiritual question. Does the Bible address this particular topic in the scriptures?
Well, of course, I'm a creationist, and I believe that God literally created this world. And I find the record for that in the book of Genesis, and there is no reference to alien beings in that sense of the word. When we think about what the scriptures speak of, and we hear people speak about sentient life or other life that has a conscience or feelings and so forth, the capstone of God's creation is the human being, and we do not find other references. I do believe you can perhaps be referring to demonic presence or influence. You may be referring to technological type of presence, but to see anything scripturally that would speak about alien life is not going to come from the Bible.
How should Christians be responding to these kinds of reports and stories?
Well, I think about Congressman Burchett. There's 300 Baptist churches in the city of Knoxville, where he's from, and I think that you've got to get a Bible and stick with the revealed word. One of the passages that helps me is God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And I want to stay confident in the fact that this is a fallen world, that God has stated that he sent his son Jesus to cover the sins of this fallen world, but that as human beings, we know that sin brought a wage into this world, and God has placed judgment by one man. Sin entered into the world, and so this is a judged and a fallen world. But there's nothing mentioned about that judgment coming upon other than the ground of this earth and the creation of this earth. So I don't see anything in the scripture related to judgment on other creatures or even the creation of such creatures. And so I'm not going to worry about that which is not revealed to me by God.
I think I like the way you're tackling this one. That's good. I know some of our staffers like, Todd, we can't sleep at. No, no, no. That's why we want Dr. Chappell to come on, so our staff here at the show can sleep well at night. So I think you've calmed some nerves here, Dr. Chappell.
Well, when you think about what we do know in the sense of world affairs, we know that there's crime, and we know that there's difficulty as the result of sin. And if the congressman has something outside of the realm of what we know from scripture, uh, in the sense of something that's worrying him, again, that does not necessarily indicate that it is another form of life equivalent to human life. I mean, is there some radio frequency? Is there some fallen angel demonic activity? The scripture speaks about that in particular with Lucifer and the fallen angels. But I don't know that I would encourage anyone to lose sleep over this report. There could be mad scientists doing all kinds of weird things, and certainly we've lost sleep about everything from COVID to every other kind of a medical emergency. But in this case, until they reveal it, go ahead and sleep soundly. And when they do reveal it, test it by the scriptures and find hope.
Dr. Chappell, I want to ask you about something that happened at the White House yesterday. Of course, President Trump hosting faith leaders for a luncheon, and the president, truly a man who understands the importance of Christianity when it comes to celebrating America's 250th anniversary. And there was something that was said, it's generating a lot of headlines, and I was just curious to hear your thoughts on it, This is Paula White. She is one of the president's top spiritual advisors. And here's what she had to say from the podium yesterday.
And Mr. President, no one has paid the price like you have paid the price. It almost cost you your life. You were betrayed and arrested and falsely accused. It's a familiar pattern that our Lord and Savior showed us. But it didn't end there for him, and it didn't end there for you. God always had a plan. On the third day, he rose, he defeated evil, he conquered death, hell, and the grave. And because he rose, we all know that we can rise.
Dr. Chappell, some people are saying she was comparing President Trump to Christ. How do you square that? What do you see there?
Well, as a Baptist, I believe that our final authority is the Scripture, and I love Hebrews 4:15, which simply says, "For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. Let us therefore come boldly to the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find help in our time of need." Now, with that passage in mind, every believer can come to the Lord Jesus, our high priest, and can seek his help and can seek his counsel and guidance, knowing that while he was on this earth, he went through trials and temptations. He took the form of a man. He suffered pain. He suffered the loss of loved ones such as Lazarus and many other illustrations. So in that context, can we look at our human suffering and say that Jesus understands? Absolutely, yes. I don't care what anyone is experiencing today, listening or watching this program. Jesus Christ is an high priest that can be touched with the feeling of our infirmities. I think in this case, the close parallel in the personal moment, something that probably could have been said to the president in the form of a comfort, is probably being taken as somewhat deifying him. And I'm not going to question the motive of the person saying that. I would just say probably the timing was not well chosen in that sense, because instantly detractors are going to say, no matter who makes the parallel, that she was saying that he is God-like. And I do not believe that any of us can claim that. We're all a fallen race, all fallen people. We're all sinners who need a savior.
Yeah.
And even President Trump retweeted Franklin Graham's letter to him from a few weeks ago, which very clearly stated that all men must turn to Christ to be saved. So in short, there's a great principle that I'm not ever going to give up on, because Jesus understands, and he went through sorrow, suffering, death, and the grave, and he resurrected. All of that is true. However, we've got to be careful positioning any man as if he's at that level.
Well said. And Dr. Chappell, I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there, but wise words. And we certainly wish you and the great church, Lancaster Baptist Church, a happy Easter. Thank you, Dr. Chappell.
Same to you, Todd.
It's Radio Free America. It's the Todd Starnes Show.
Grandma's Kitchen, where laughter and warm meals mingle. Each bite is a journey through generations. As you gather around the table, complement the meal with Balance of Nature fruits and veggies supplements. Our veggies supplement, made from 15 ingredients like garlic, onion, and cayenne pepper, can easily be opened and added to your favorite dishes, like homemade soups or dips. Not to mention our fruit supplement, which is made from 16 ingredients like banana, strawberries, and mango, making it a great addition to your homemade smoothies. So the next time you gather with family, enjoy Balance of Nature supplements as an addition to your favorite dishes. Start your journey with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your preferred set as a new preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code
Todd.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year, and they're looking to make 2026 the best year yet. And as a thank you to my listeners, MyPillow is offering exclusive free shipping on your entire order at wholesale pricing. That means they're bringing back the mega sale exclusively for my listeners. For example, the classic My Pillows, normally $49.98, now marked down to only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the made in the USA My Pillow My Mattress Topper. Save up to $100. Get a set of My Pillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com. Use promo code STARNS. Or give them a call, 800-839-8506. These offers won't last long, so call now, 800-839-8506, or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS. Order now, and your entire order ships free.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age. My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going. Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
All right, don't forget, 5 o'clock Eastern tonight on Newsmax, and we're going to have the very latest on the firing of Pam Bondi, and there's a lot of celebration on both sides of the aisle. And what makes this hard is that Pam Bondi is a good and decent person. The question is, was she really qualified for the job that she was assigned? And I'll just ask this question. Was the administration pushing back? For example, on the Epstein files, that was a complete disaster, going all the way back to the day they invited the social media influencers and gave them the big binders that turned out to be big nothing burgers. So it's been a disaster from day one. And I think there's been an impression, whether right or wrong, that Pam Bondi and many of the others in the administration are more interested in auditioning for jobs at Fox News Channel. And that's not the point of the administration. The point of the administration is to get in there and work your butt off. Do your job. And if you do your job, if you follow through with the president's agenda, then there's going to be a reward for you after your time in office has concluded. But unfortunately, it certainly appeared that Pam Bondi and many others were more interested in time on TV than actually doing their job. And it's unfortunate, and it did not have to be that way, but unfortunately, that's how things turned out for Pam Bondi. And I think somebody like a Lee Zeldin, who is a workhorse, is the kind of person we need in there. By the way, going back to, I want to share this with you from Laura Loomer. Vice President J.D. Vance just confirmed the Trump administration is investigating Ilhan Omar for immigration fraud. Well, here is the issue with that. Laura Loomer exposed that story 8 years ago. And I want to read because, I mean, she's absolutely right. And many people have different opinions about Laura Loomer. You either like her, you don't like her. I like her. I like her because she's a fierce defender of the president. And also, all the information she has turns out to be absolutely correct. But go back 8 years ago, and Laura Loomer was smeared, deplatformed, and blacklisted by even Republicans for warning the American people about the dangerous rise of Islamic candidates like Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and Abdul el-Sayed. She says, while it's a relief to see these jihadist infiltrators finally face real scrutiny, the government should have acted on my Oppo research during the first Trump term, before these frauds could inflict so much damage on our country. All of my original receipts and undercover investigations are still available for free on my YouTube channel. It is past time to hold these pro-jihad politicians accountable. Why does it take so long for information like this to be acted on? I am very frustrated these Muslims have not been banned from running for office in America. I warned you all 8 years ago, and she did. She did. And by the way, just want to throw this out there. Again, this is J.D. Vance 2 times now going on platforms and saying that Ilhan Omar is under investigation. No, why has she not been charged? That's not good enough. And I'm tired of people hopping on these shows and announcing that, well, charges are imminent. And then, 8, 10, 15 years later, we're still waiting for charges. I remember when I was at Fox News Channel, this is back in 2016, 2017, 2018. We had members of Congress coming on my show, and they're like, Stards, all of the breadcrumbs lead to Barack Obama. He's the guy that tried to take down Donald Trump. He's the guy that signed off on the plan to thwart, sabotage the campaign. And here we are, years later. Nobody ever got charged. They did all these investigations that cost millions of dollars, just millions. And all we're saying is, okay, great. If you have done the investigative work and there is evidence of wrongdoing, then hold these people accountable. Otherwise, just be quiet and stop wasting our money on these investigations that lead nowhere. I mean, and it is true that there may be some things that are absolutely heinous and offensive and gross and disgusting, but the reality is those things may not rise to the level of a crime, and that's okay too, but we don't need to be spending all of our tax money on this stuff that leads to nowhere is what I'm getting at. So, all right. Wow. That's a lot going on today, and I would say this, say a prayer for Pam Bondi. She's a good, decent person. This got to be hard. Nobody likes to be fired, and, it is what it is. But President Trump says that she's still a great person. He put out a nice little statement, thanking Pam. By the way, she is going into the private sector. They didn't say what that was. I would not be, my money is on a Fox News gig. That's where if I'm a betting man, that's where I'm going. We'll do a 6-pack of Dr. Pepper, Dylan. All right, folks, it's been a great day. We've got to get out of here. Thanks for hanging out with us. By the way, download our podcast, or you can go back and actually watch the video interviews on our awesome YouTube stream. And don't forget, pre-order a copy of The Golden Age, How Trump Saved America. It's going to be a great book. You're going to love it, everybody. Get out there. Have a great day, America. For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has been on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms while providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all 3 of the main networks. Patriot Mobile's all-U.S.-based support team is standing by to take care of you. Call 972-PATRIOT today or go to